On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we're going to talk about the next project on the channel, my grandpa's 1965 Ford F100. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and today we are here with the family heirloom of a truck. I got this truck for free. Of course, it was handed down through the generations, and it's probably the first car I ever owned. I got this when I was 5 years old. My grandma took me to the insurance office with her one day, handed me a piece of paper and said, sign this. And I was like, how do you sign your name, right? I was a little kid, but I did, and that was how I got my name on the title for the 1965 Ford F100. This is a custom cab. It's basically a hand-built camper special. It's got custom bumpers and a lot of other cool stuff. We'll take you around and show you the whole truck here in just a moment. But first, we gotta talk about my grandpa. I never got to meet my grandpa. He passed away long before I was born, but before that, he spent basically his entire life building race cars, building cool trucks like this, building engines for other people, and he was highly influential in our city's drag racing, circle track racing, dirt track racing, all of those communities. He went out and won a lot of races and built engines for basically everyone else that was racing. Here's an old article from the newspaper about him winning a demolition derby. It's a great article, and they did it with a car that probably cost $20, $30. I don't remember exactly, but they ended up winning $400 with that car. Absolutely amazing. He also helped build Mid-America Dragway. That's the drag racing track in Ark City, Kansas. It's changed its name like 5 or 6 times, but if you go back through the earliest history of that track, he was there all the time and helped build the track and get everything going down there. Like I said, my grandma handed this truck down to me and always had awesome stories to tell me about her and grandpa driving around and how fast this truck was and how he'd just go out and have fun with it. And they'd take it to the drive-in, stick the camper in the back, take it all over the place. And it's just kind of an endless amount of stories about the truck, which is awesome that it has so much history. It never got driven enough. It's probably sat for almost 30 years with us starting it just once each year, maybe putting a battery in it, doing a little bit of maintenance, and then taking it out on the street to enjoy it. And it always drives like a dream. It's like the perfect 65 truck to drive. Everything is super nice inside. It's a low miles truck. We don't even know what engine's in it. We think it might be a 390. We think it's a Ford Y-block. And we're not sure what the displacement is because Grandpa would just grab an engine that was close and build it real fast, throw it in the truck, and just go enjoy it. So I think the Y-block's one of the most configurable early Ford engines, and we're not really sure what exactly the displacement is on this thing. The rear main seal on that Y-block leaks like a sieve. It lived all those years with a bunch of kitty litter or a metal tank underneath it so we could try to catch the oil. And the C4 transmission also leaks like a sieve. I think it's completely out of fluid now. The last time we tried to move it, it was not having it. So we're gonna have to do a lot to this truck before we drive it again. Let's get inside this truck and take a look around. You can see it's got towing mirrors, and actually right back here, this is the intercom connection for the camper. Pretty cool. There's wiring for the camper and everything added. Coming inside, there's a little bit that needs done in here, but not too much. You can see it's got a little bit of leather work we've got to clean up in there, but for the most part, it's absolutely perfect in here. All the switches and everything, it all works just like you'd expect. The lighter is so cool in these old trucks. It looks like a switch, completely comes out. You can see he added a tack. There's no factory tack in these trucks, but when it's the race car life, you gotta have a tack, right? Of course, it has a choke because it's a traditional carb, and it had a factory heater. We've got fan controls here for the heater. Coming over here, we have the dealer or aftermarket installed Ford AC. It may have been a factory air truck, I'm not 100% sure, but I love this thing. The fan works great. It does not cool the truck currently. Here's our heater controls. This should just be the water valve right there. There's your temperature control. This is some KC lights that Grandpa added. They work perfectly. Got a nice little switch. And here we have the intercom for the camper. This is an old Philips intercom system. You push down to talk to the camper. You can slide this switch over to monitor what's going on inside it. It's like a baby monitor. You can listen in, be a spy, and standby just lets it turn on whenever the down to talk button's on. Here we have the factory radio, of course. It's AM, and it just sits there and makes noise, a little popping sound when it's on. I think it's one of the transistors or something that's out. Of course, because race car, we have a chrome fire extinguisher in here, and it's still charged, still holding up today. That probably hasn't been touched in over 30 years. We've got a cool old ashtray right there. That thing's like 4 inches deep. That is insane. And then here we have the old glove box. Spring loaded, pops down, but very nice old glove box. And all of that runs very well. That pretty much takes you through the interior of this truck. One thing that does need done, we've got new window cranks to put on, new window cranks and handles for the doors. It has a cool horn button too, but it's actually been moved to a floor switch. High beams and the horn are on the floor, so some days you might confuse the high beam switch for the horn, and it's pretty funny when that happens. One other cool thing we have in the interior is the switch right there. That switches fuel tanks between the under bed tank and the behind the seat tank, which is right there. So, got extra belts and everything behind the seat and some rags. Here at the front of the truck, we have this awesome old grill guard, brush guard. It's old school and it's really well done. It's just a nicely crafted grill guard. And we have the rodeo plate, which is from my grandpa. He worked there for years and years and years. It's the meat packing plant that was in Ark City, long ago closed. But this beautiful truck, awesome V8 badge right in the front. We've got the bug guard, an old school bug guard right here. And let's get this hood open. There we go. And we have the power plant. This thing is an old monster. It's never given us any problems other than a lot of oil leaks. Here we have the unknown power plant that is probably a 390. I kind of hope it is because I like having some displacement. You can see the original air conditioning right here. It's such an old school compressor. It's literally just an old air compressor. We've got an ignition box right here. This is a Sun tachometer transmitter for that tach that's in the center. The tach does not work, so we may have to do a little bit of work to see what's up with that. It's probably a failed tach transmitter, but you know, we're gonna figure some things out. There's a lot for us to fix on here. You can see the Fomoco power steering box. Looks like it might be a little wet down there. I think it's actually moisture in the garage. I don't think it ever leaked or had any problems, but there's a chance that there's an issue down there. We are going to put a new battery in it today because it's something that needs to happen. You can see the last time I put a battery in it was 9 of 2011. So we'll put a Superstart in this bad boy. And that should take care of it for years because I plan on driving the truck after this, at least more than once a year, you know, once a month at minimum for a truck like this. It's just so cool to take out, take it to Cars and Coffee, drive it around and just enjoy it. And that pretty much wraps up underneath the hood. Just look at the truck's stance. It's absolutely perfect. It's on some really thin looking Goodyear tires up here. Let me tell you guys what these are because it's pretty funny. These are L78 15 LTs. So I'm gonna have to convert those to a new tire in metric sizes and find something that really fits in here and also continues the stance. The Tracker LT was a good looking tread pattern. And on the back, we have a ton of width because Grandpa was always into racing. So we have a huge tire out back that barely fits. This tire is a Goodyear Tracker AT and it's a, if I can find the size, these are 11-15 LTs, which is a way, way, way wider tire. The front tire is like a 6-inch tread block and these ones are like 11-inch or 10-inch, super wide, and they just look right. That said, they do rub. It's probably a pressure issue. They've been aired down for quite a while. I think if we put a little bit of height in them, these tires, well, a tire like this, because we got to get new tires on it, these are 30 years old, will look really good. Over here we have a toolbox that Grandpa added to this bad boy, and it's loaded with tools. And super deep too. We got a 4-way in there. We got a nice set of tools. It's rusty because these things don't seal well, but it definitely get the job done if you were stuck on the side of the road. You could probably do about anything. I know there's a set of screwdrivers and like a full set of SAE wrenches. We have a super long bed. It's actually just the normal long bed, but it holds the camper perfectly. We have the stakes that the camper used to tighten that thing down, and a custom built bumper. Slide out step to help you get into the camper. It fits under into the EXP. 2-inch ball, solid steel bumper, trailer wiring in it and all that good stuff. I do have the original tailgate and all that stuff. The hardware is out, it's kind of shaved right now, but we could put the tailgate on if I picked up all the hardware for that. The tailgate is all painted to match, it's beautiful, and it's got a cut out for the tag. I mean, it's a very custom built bumper. And underneath, it has a big mud flap that runs the entire length, and it gives it a really solid look. Now that you've gotten a pretty in-depth tour of this truck, let's get to O'Reilly's, get a battery, and see what happens. I'm pretty sure we can't start it today, but we have to put a battery in it before we can even get that far, and I know that it'll start if you just spray a little bit of gas in the carb. Here we are, ready to save a Ford. Let's get that battery.
We just run it in there.
Go ahead, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What's up?
How's it going?
I need one of these. I want the ultimate 24.
Oh, you want the extreme?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no, I want a platinum. Well, the platinum will fit, won't it?
Don't have it. I mean, it might be in the back, but...
I think it'll fit.
Oh?
It's a 48. Thanks, bro. All right, not bad. The best battery we could possibly do for like 130 bucks. And I grabbed a terminal cleaner so we can make sure all that battery acid is out of the terminals. Let's open up our new battery brush. Went ahead and grabbed one of these because there's so much corrosion on these old terminals. I figured it was time to clean this up. Get this thing open here. Give it a good cleaning. That's better. We can actually see copper in there, which is probably too clean. Ah! Eating the battery acid, that was a mistake. It just went everywhere.
Oh, God.
All right, here's the ground strap. The ground strap's lead, so maybe we'll be eating less battery acid this time. You can sure smell it. All right, there's still a little right there. That's better, much better. Okay, nice clean terminals going back on. Okay, I think she's clean enough to run. Put away the battery brush here. Grab our Superstar Platinum. We went to the Platinum so we could have the best upgrade all the way to the top with this battery. Okay, later on, I'm gonna come back and get that battery, the whole mount will get cleaned up and we'll put an actual battery strap on there of some sort. For now, we'll put back our battery hold down we had and put our terminals back on this guy. And we should have power. Okay, that should be good. All right, let's see if this thing cranks. We can get the keys, check it out. Got this old school key tag and it has John Watts engraved on it, my grandpa's name. And we've got the original Ford key right here. I'm gonna go ahead and crank it. I bet it won't start, but at least we'll have battery so we can get some fuel and get this thing started. Choke. So there you have it, the next big build on the channel. This actually shouldn't take too long because it's honestly super nice. It might look a little dirty because it's been sitting out in this garage for quite a while, but it cleans up wonderfully. This beautiful two-tone single-stage paint really pops, and I'm really excited to have a driver again out of this truck. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shopwatchjericho.com where you can get cool shirts like this. And please, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time, which is tricky. Okay, I think I've got it. It's like a really hard hood to open sometimes. Okay, just let it roll for a second. I'm just gonna clean a little more. I'm gonna delete all that.
Okay.
I need a wire brush to finish this. I really wrecked the terminal brush already.